strong feelings derive from one's experience, mood, or relationships. Hormones have a direct impact on emotions. So if somebody's going through pregnancy or puberty, your hormones are imbalanced, which can cause emotional mood changes pretty quickly, like temperamental types of personalities. So a lot of different feelings: anger, happiness, guilt, sadness. Now, you don't want to stay in the negative emotions for a long period of time. Nobody wants to stay sad for a long time. So what we do, we form defense mechanisms. These are mental processes in our brain that protect us from those strong and stressful emotions like fear, anxiety, sadness, embarrassment. So the first one is suppression. This is when you are forcing on purpose an idea out of your head. You're trying as hard as you can to not think about something. That way you don't become upset. So you're scrolling through Instagram. You see your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend's picture with their new partner, and you quickly try to go away from the picture. You close the app, and you try your best to force the idea out of your head. That way you don't become upset. Here's an example of suppression.
Okay, Meg, I'm thinking of another word. This time it's definitely not kitty. Can you guess what it is?
Is it kitty?
Get out of my head! Get out of my head!
The next one is repression. With this one, you are naturally and easily forcing an idea out of your head. So suppression's on purpose. Repression is it just happens naturally and easy. This one is probably the better of the two because you're not really forcing it. It's just happening by itself. Here's an example of repression. You'll see in Home Alone, he gets scared for a second, but you can tell this is pretty natural that the emotions go away pretty fast. The next one is denial, where a person refuses to accept facts and reality. So an example are people that vape every day and think that they're not addicted to nicotine. If you're vaping every day, you're addicted to nicotine, but denial, they're just refusing to accept that fact. Here's an example of denial.
Gary, I don't feel like myself. Don't be silly, Gary. I don't get colds. I get the suds. No, Gary. If I had the suds, I'd have bubbles coming out of me. I can't get the suds because then I'll have to miss work. No, Gary. I like wearing my underwear like this. I'm not sick. I'm going to work.
SpongeBob, what's holding up those pennies?
Right away, sir.
SpongeBob, what's wrong with you? You're paying to the baby seahorse. The suds.
Here's that patty you wanted, Mr. Krabs, sir.
All right, SpongeBob, you're too sick to work.
No, Mr. Krabs, I'm okay.
So that was an example of denial. He didn't think that he was sick when clearly he was. Regression is when you escape to an earlier stage of development. So you start acting like a kid. You start throwing tantrums. You're acting immature, tapping with pencils or pens, or returning to sleeping with a cherished, like stuffed animal from your childhood. So this is an example of regression.
Making fun of a little kid for trying to read. Are you psycho? Do you not have a soul?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I've been physically abused in the ear.
You keep your mouth shut for the next 2 weeks or I'm gonna fail you. End of story.
I see your lips moving, but I can't make out the words. I'm deaf.
The next one is projection. This is where you are blaming a person or a group of people for how you're feeling or for something that's happened. An example of projection is I was late to class because I was talking to my friend John in the hallway. You're blaming somebody else, a person, for something that's happened.
Game on hold, everyone. This is not working, okay? We're getting slaughtered out there. It's the new guy. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what we're talking about. So there. We just need a strategy, okay? We're gonna set up a trap in the gun room. All right, Jim, are you using the MP40 or the 44? Sniper rifle. Snipe what? Jim, are you playing other teams? You don't snipe in Carrington, okay? The saboteur. Saboteur. I'm gonna kill you for real. The game is over. I'm really going to shoot you.
The next one is rationalization. With this one, you're making excuses for your behavior. So I was late to class because I dropped my coffee in the hallway. So with that example, I'm not blaming a person, but I am making an excuse. Even if you're telling the truth, you're making an excuse for what has happened or for how you're feeling. Here's an example of rationalization.
Hey, nailed the sale. Where were you this morning? I overslept. Tim Brewster didn't crow. Why do you lie, liar? You are lying right now.
So that's a good example. Compensation, last one. You overachieve in one area to make up for failures in another. So you're trying to make something up that you've messed up or for how you're feeling with hard work. Gifts, extreme efforts. So if you get in an argument with your wife, the husband will buy her flowers the next day because he feels bad. Or trying to get into shape because you're getting bullied at school. So you're making up for an area that you're weak in or giving a lot of compliments. So here is a good example of compensation. He insults Shrek's home. Shrek calls him out on it, and Donkey instantly compensates by giving a lot of compliments.
All right. Woo, look at that. Who's want to live in a place like that? That would be my home. Oh, and it is lovely, just beautiful. You know you are quite a decorator. It's amazing what you've done with such a modest budget. I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.